see, provided three components, three services. One is SQL Server integration services and analysis services and reporting services. Okay. Now, what is the purpose to learn these technologies? Am I right? What is the purpose to learn these technologies? If you see the picture, some data sources like as Lee told me that, so statistical analysis. To do a statistical analysis, background, we need to capture the data. So manually capturing is also possible, but capturing the weather data or capturing customer satisfactions data, which is a huge. Am I right, Lee? Weather as well as satellite information and earth conditions, earth environment, those statistical data. Okay, manually also we can capture it, but that is a very typical or tedious process. That's why some technology help we can take it. Okay, based on that technology we can capture those kind of data and put into these data sources. Am I right? Are you agree with me, or do you have any questions here? Hello?
Yes.
Do you have any questions here? Because you need to understand the basics first.
No question for now.
Okay. So let's say market. So in NASDAQ or some stock markets. So huge data. Per day they captured almost all terabytes of data per day with different companies, different graphs data. I mean, to plot the graph, they need to capture it. It's a huge data, different sectors, different industries. Am I right? Those data is captured. And if you take 1 week, 1 month, 1 year or 10 years, 3 year, 20 years data, put into one place, it's a huge data. Right? So those data stored into the data sources. Okay. Now, any questions? So the applications or the technology whichever capture the market data or weather conditions data and store into those applications, we call it as a operational systems. We call it as a operational systems. Like your mobile applications. Okay? Or your internet applications. Or your newspaper. Can you give me some example? I mean, the applications. Hello? Leah, Prashant, you already aware about that. And Leah, you also already worked the MicroStrategy. So can you give me some kind of applications? What irrespective of a domain?
Applications?
See?
Oh?
Can you repeat again?
Okay, for applications, there are some, in Microsoft, they have some schema application, then public application, the project application. Oh no, it's application.
Okay. Yeah, the end user or the business user use that application and click somewhere over the window. Am I right?
Yeah, basically you show them in
Yeah.
dashboard
The
or
background,
document.
the background that information stored into a databases. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are clear. What about Monica and Prashant? Are you aware about the applications and databases?
Yes. No, not much.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what is application.
Okay. Yeah. So are you able to access any American bank website?
You mean
Any
yeah?
Citibank?
Yeah, Bank of America and Citibank, yeah.
Yeah. So Monica, you have a Bank of America application. I mean, so you can log in it over the internet. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So that interface, okay, we call it as the application interface. Whatever you click, whatever you entered, whatever you keyed using your mobile phone or your keyboard, whatever it is, that keyed information stored in Bank of America databases.
Yes.
The background of that application. Okay, these kind of applications we call it as an operational system. That means every day the application can access, you can access it, or every minute you can access it, and you can key some data using that interface. So that's why we call it as a operational systems.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
you clear now?
Yes, I'm clear.
Yeah, I'm clear as well.
Okay, so operational. I mean, it should be use anybody on every time over the internet. Okay. Now,
Okay.
coming to our part. Now there are n number of operational systems. One is let's say take is a Bank of America. So Bank of America, or let's take a Citibank, because Citibank runs the business over the globe. Am I right?
Actually, your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat it?
Or you can give one global player if you are aware about that. Okay, so I will take the Citibank. So Citibank runs the business, okay, globally. So they can maintain multiple databases, background databases. One is China, and another one is another country, Australia or India. One database in US, one database is in Canada. Because those are the operational system. Millions of people are accessing Citibank site at any point of a time. Okay, so the load of that application is heavy. To reduce the performance, background they can maintain different databases in different locations. Okay, to resolve the performance issues, we call it as a distributed databases. So if somebody access from China, okay, they did not experience any performance issue, and that data stored in China databases only. That way they build that application. Okay, are you clear till now?
Yes, Jagadish.
Yes.
Any question so far? Now, so I have a question, a small question to you guys. You have to answer it. Now, my question right now is, as a Citibank CEO, what is my net profit?
Pardon me, sorry.
As a Citibank CEO, let's say I am a Citibank CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Okay. My question is, what is my net profit of Citibank?
That's profit means your sales minus your costs and also the payback or the interest and the tax, then what's left is the net income.
Okay. So how do you feel the question? Is it a easy or typical question?
I think it needs a little knowledge about accounting.
I mean, I'm asking only the question. Is it a question? Is a typical question or basic question?
It's a question. I don't know what it means by typical question.
The typical question, I think.
Yeah, the question. I asked you, what is my net profit? Is it a small question or complex question?
Complex question.
Complex. How many feel it is a complex or how many feel it is a very simple question?
I think complex.
I think complex.
So you also feel the complex. Then how do you feel the complex? This is only, what is my net profit? Almost all, 10 words. It's a very simple question, but
Well, it needs a lot of estimate in the book. And
exactly.
it will need a lot of transaction records and a lot of calculation, and all those accountants and all those lawyers have to work together, and it has to be audited by the independent auditor and blah 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 blah. So it's complicated.
Yes. So to answer this question, we feel it is a complex. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so keep in mind this, till completion of this session. To answer this small question, okay, manually also possible, but it takes a long time. We need to deploy, we need to take technology help here to answer this question, because CEO right now, they use the mobile devices and they can see immediately their net profit at any point of a time because of the technology. I think MicroStrategy answer that question. Liang, if you are aware about that, Microsoft also, MicroStrategy's reporting will answer these kind of a questions. Okay? Now.
Yeah, give me the data, then I can answer it.
Sorry?
Give me the data, then I can answer it.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, one thing you need to know, even if you get the data also, you cannot answer the question. You have a data, but you need to apply the government rules, like accounting. As Lee said, you need to apply the accounting rules. You need to modify the whatever the data you have. Am I right?
Yes.
You need to aggregate the data. You need to sum up the data, and you need to apply the currency conversion also. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So keep in mind this case. I am, entering one level below of this example. Now, as Liang said, if you get the data, if I have the data, I can answer it. Now, how do you get that data in a Citibank case? As I said, Citibank maintained the China database, India database, Australia database, Canada, US, so many databases.
I guess, I'm not sure. You have to get the data from the data warehouse, and you have to you have to have operation to get the data.
Yeah. Now, assume it, the Citibank application capturing the data in China database, Japan database, India, and wherever it is, okay? Now, can you mute your microphone, please? Now, first thing, as Liang said, we need to capture the data. Now, every second, every minute, can you please mute, please? Liang, mute your microphone, and Lee. Can you please mute your microphone?
Mute my microphone?
Yeah.
I don't. You mean the microphone to the computer?
Yes. Whenever if you want to talk, then you can unmute it.
Well, okay, sure.
Okay. So, operational system, every minute when you access Citibank over the site capturing the data, you see the left side, so many data sources. That means so many databases. Okay, keep on capturing the data every minute, every second. To answer a net profit question, we need to consolidate, that means mix all these database data into one central location. First, we need to load China database data, US, India, Japan, Canada, those database you need to consolidate first. Am I right? Okay?
Yep.
So, to consolidate or to store these data into a single location, we need to have some technology help.
Hello, Jagadish. Yeah.
So, to consolidate, so manually also possible, am I right? But how much time it will take to consolidate, one central location? Hello? How much take do you think to consolidate manually? And then answer the CEO question.
Yeah.
Long time.
Long time. But CEO will wait that time to answer this question?
No.
So here we need a technology help, one component help. Here in this scenario, SQL Server Integration Services plays a big role. When I say big role, it will quickly transfer the data from China database, India, US, Canada into one central database quickly. So I mean it's like half an hour or below half an hour, depends on the transaction, or 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Even real time also, immediately also it can move. So that we can immediately, I mean within a second or within a minute we can answer the CEO question. Okay? Any questions here in this example?
No.
What about others? Any questions in this example?
No.
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 So now if I ask a question, where the integration services helps? Can you give me the answer please? Where this SQL Server integration services helps?
It helps in consolidating the data, from multiple source systems into at a single location.
Okay. What about others' opinion, please? Yeah, other opinion, please. Monica, Lee, Prashant. What do you think about the integration services?
Well, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the SQL Server will provide, consolidation of the data. From different database.
Okay.
So the process would be sort of automated. So it will require less work.
Exactly. Yeah. So I appreciate your way of thinking. Yeah. Title is that integration. So to integrate different databases and put into one place. Title is that. But the way you are thinking is, I appreciate it because we can automate this process also. Okay. We can create a new process also to transfer the data from one place to another place. Okay. Yeah. So what about other person's opinion? Okay. So any other opinion, please?
Same answer.
Yes, share me your what do you feel? That's it.
Yeah, it will
So that,
consolidate data and it will help us to extract it whenever we want it.
Okay, fine. What about Prashant? Your and Vaiba? Your way of thought?
I think it is to consolidate more quickly.
Okay.
Consolidation of data, automation of the process of consolidation.
Okay.
Data from different multiple source systems at a single location, so that it can be used to do the reporting and analysis.
Exactly. So he said, Prashant said that yes, we will consolidate this, but what is the purpose of consolidate? Am I right? He said that you can analyze the data and you can report the data, analyze like linear analysis, how the data is plotting. That means what type of which age group people are accessing Citibank site. You can analyze that. Am I right, Lee? So you are aware about that, so median, mode. Which age group people are accessing Citibank site very frequently, or how frequently accessing? If you have that data, then you can, if you have gender information as well as age information in your consolidated data, you can identify which age group are actually accessing Citibank. Am I right? Is it a 20 to 30 or 0 to 5 people, 0 to 5 age group, or 0 to 10 age group? If you identify 5 to 10 age group, then you can able to give some kind of benefits to open a child account. Am I right? So those kind of new promotion criteria they will introduce once you capture the data and once you analyze the data. Okay. So I agree with this, all your way of thinking about the integration services, consolidation as well as transformation. I can give one quick example, the transformation, data transformation. when you transfer the China data, so I have a question, Lee. I mean, under which form the data is stored, which currency the amount is stored in China database?
Currency, Chinese yuan.
Yeah. Alright. Now I am asking US database stored in USD currency. But when you consolidate into a single target, how do you consolidate the amount? Am I right? One amount is Chinese yuan and one amount is US dollar, one amount is Great Britain, one amount is yen. Different amounts and different rates. Am I right? Different currency. How do you consolidate into a single place? So your amount needs to transform into a one common currency. You need to transform the data. Let's say $100. If the common currency is yen, you need to convert that. That is, transform that data into the yen or some other currency, common currency. Then you can store into the one place. Am I right? If it is a common currency, then only you can say the net profit amount is this much US dollars benefit we gain. Citibank globally. Otherwise, you cannot say the net profit answer. Am I right? So, data transformations. I can say data transformations also possible. There are so many data transformations possible using the integration services. Data transformation, that means one form of data into another form. I can say one more example. The transformation means now. So this is $10,000. Now I am asking a question. Do you need to transform this data or not? Share me your views. So this is a one format of data.
Well, you may need to transform the data depending on the programming you are using.
Yeah, so I will tell you, this is a one format of a data. Amount, this is the amount. First thing you need to remove the comma. That is a one format of transformation. Otherwise you cannot apply the arithmetic operations. Okay. Then another form of transformation, you need to remove comma as well as dollars also and put some exchange rates. Multiply with some exchange rates. Okay. See the same data. Okay. Transforming. Okay. Some rough number. This way you have, your data, your original data, keep on transferring while going to consolidate. Okay? Understood?
Yes.
So this way you can, when you start implementing real time automated process, you may get so many transformations. This is one of the basic example. Okay? Now, so those kind of transformations we will go to discuss. If you see this diagram, data flow and source transformation, so many transformations, and target to automate, we have to discuss about these components, the log providers, connection manager, events enumerator. Okay, different components supports to automate the process, as well as, let's say, I have one more example here. To automate here, something goes wrong. How do you know that? So you are the ETL or integration services developer, and you automated the system, everything working fine, and they moved into a production. And after 2 months, something goes wrong. How do you identify that? Am I right? to identify what could be the potential reason or potential cause to failure. Those informations you can get using the log providers. If you enable the log provider in your automated consolidation process, by taking a log provider help, you may identify typical root cause to failure the automation process. Okay, similar to your event handlers. Okay, so at very high level, I use the very high level, you know where exactly the integration services helps. Am I right? Any questions so far? Because I am moving to another services.
No, there is nothing.
Do you get at least an idea where exactly the integration services going to use?
Yes.
Liang and Lee. Do you get some idea where exactly these services plays a key role? Okay, shall I move to another services? Because this is a demo, so I need to cover all these three components. Lee, any questions so far?
No.
See, now, assume it, your China database, your India, your those data using the integration services stored into one central database. I have a question. Which format the data stored in the central database? Which format? Which format the data stored? Lee, any idea which format the data stored?
Numeric.
Numeric and
Character.
characters,
Date.
date, different format. Okay, the structure is table, am I right? Or flat file, or Excel file, or Word. Am I right? So typically the data stored in the form of table, we call it as a structured data. And typically the data stored in Word, PDF, Excel and other format, we call it as a unstructured data, like video, that is also unstructured data. Okay, so structured, unstructured, whatever the format it is, data stored. Let's say video is stored in unstructured format, some format. Now, why we stored that video in some place? Why that unstructured data is stored? Why? What is the purpose? Yeah, can you tell me please why we stored the video file in our library? So I will tell you whether it is a video or column wise or table wise data, we need to reuse. Video also you need to reuse, you need to play the music again, you can store. Am I right? The purpose is listen. So even to consolidate this data and store into a table format, we need to use for analysis purpose as well as reporting purpose. Am I right? If it is a table format. Yes or no? Do you agree with me, Lee or others? The purpose to consolidate and store into a data is, in a Citibank case, is to answer the net profit. Am I right?
Yes.
So we consolidated the database, that's fine. Now, we need to deliver that data in a right format, that means information format. to deliver that information, we need to talk about the reporting services. Okay, reporting services. Your databases, your files, your Excel, that information delivered to the end user. Who is the end user, please? In Citibank example, who is the end user? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Who is the end user for Citibank example? Who is the end user?
Customers?
I mean the Citibank example. I am asking a specific question.
The CEO.
CEO. What about, is there any other opinion?
The analyst of the Wall Street.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I agree with you, but Citibank example, we taken CEO as the end user. So he wants to the net profit, am I right? About his company. Okay? Now, how do you sell the net profit? I mean the answer, how do you give the answer? Which format you can give the answer? If I ask the CEO again, what is the net profit? Which format you can give? Yes, please. You can. Yeah, Prashant. Go ahead. Which format you can answer it?
Numeric format?
You can say 10% profit is increased. Am I right? This format. Or you can say we have 200, 500 US dollar profit we gain. This format. Am I right?
Yeah.
We cannot say simply like this. What is this? Am I right? Some format we need to. Dollar or 10% or, you know, you understood, am I right? Some format we need to. But data stored this format after applying the data transformations. Am I right? Again, you need to give some format which is meaningful. So, to give this kind of, so then only the CEO understood, am I right? Otherwise, if you give 2,500, you cannot. Right? So, even though if you consolidate, you need to give some meaningful, you need to deliver a meaningful information. So that's why information delivery from databases. To deliver the information from databases, we need to take the help of reporting services. Not only SQL Server in reporting services, there are so many SQL Server reporting services. Okay, we are going to discuss about, you know, what does mean by report definition, how to manage the report, how to deliver this, and the reporting architecture also. Here, component, typical components, which data you need to report. Okay, now before jump into this, I have one more question. What type of a report you guys see generally in day to day? What type of a reports? Quickly, please. What type of a reports you can see generally? Yeah, Prashant.
Reports.
Are you able to see in your day-to-day life any reports?
Yeah, keep like analysis reports or some reports which show certain KPIs.
Yeah. Give me one specific example so that other guys also can understand. So I can see n number of reports every day in my mobile or in my report. I can see a progress report of my kit. That is also one report. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I can see market whether the technology market is hot or weak. I can see a graph report in my day, and I can see a report in the email format. I can see n number of emails from which persons I get how many I get the mails. That is also one report. And a baseball tournament report. What is the match, when it is going to play, and rugby match reports. I can see so many reports in my day to day, with or without knowing myself. Am I right? Everything is a report. Yes or no? Do you agree with me or not?
Yes. Yes.
What about Lee? Are you understanding? I mean, so in your day-to-day life, you can see so many typical format kind of reports in your day-to-day life. Okay? So, whatever the formats, to deliver your consolidated data, you need to have a tool. That tool is a reporting services. Okay? Now, what is your source for reporting services? What is your source? In a Citibank example, Lee, Viba, what is your source for Citibank example to report?
I don't know what is the source. I guess the data and yeah.
So for Citibank example, the consolidated database is also a source to deliver the report, and even China, India, Canada database is also a source to deliver the report in a Citibank example. Am I right? Using those database, you can deliver the report, some tabular reports, or a graph reports, or dashboards, or a scorecard, or analysis reports, or you can see a time series reports also, or your distributions graphs also, or your regression line. I think you heard this, Lee, you heard that regression lines, regression type analysis, time series analysis. Those kind of reports also you can deliver using databases, whether it is a RDBMS databases or your Excel or your flat file. Okay, by taking these reporting services architecture components, component helps, we can take and deliver the reports. The typical reports are charts or a table or a matrix or a dashboards, KPIs, as Prashant told me that key performance indicators, analysis reports, drill through reports. Those we can learn it in coming sessions. Okay, what does mean by drill through, drill down, KPIs, those reports. Okay. Any questions so far? Because I am moving to the another services. Any questions so far, please? About integration services, about reporting services. Any questions?
No, nothing so far.
Yeah, you can feel free. Not a problem. Whatever the thoughts comes in your mind, please ask me right now. So that that's why. So you guys are different background, and some people know about the reporting, some people doesn't know the analysis. All right. So that's why, please feel free. This is purely a demo class. You can freely ask your questions. But once complete your questions, please mute so that you can able to hear clearly about my answer. Yeah. No questions?
Yeah, I have one question on the reporting services.
Yes, please.
Like most of the reports, like whatever we want to generate, that we can generate like with the ASP.NET web applications also, right? So why should we go for the reporting services?
Yeah. So your background is .NET, am I right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, using a ASP.NET, what is the data source?
I mean, it could be anything. Like it could be a table or a file, or anything.
Am I right? So you need to typically to generate a tabular report. How many hours you will take?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it depends upon the complexity. So if it is a simple grid, yeah, it may take like, I mean, some effort, like 3 days.
Grid control, am I right? Using a grid control.
Huh?
Sorry guys, Krishna knows the .NET. I also a little bit know about the .NET, the component. That's why I am using, their terminology. Definitely you guys know or you don't know. Using a grid control, we can, deliver the report, a tabular report. Am I right? Sorting and, aggregations, grouping, those are also possible. Am I right? Yes or no?
Right.
Okay. Now, so again, guys, I am going, some typical technical details. This information runs through web application as well as your database. Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
Hello.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Now, up to what extent you can build using a .NET? Whether you can. I'm sure even charts also we can build using a .NET or web applications also. Even complex charts also is possible. I agree with you. Okay. Now that I am coming to the differences between SSRS. Okay. Now, if you see here, the components, memory management and background processes. You see, I think you are able to see my desktop, am I right?
Yeah. I can.
If you see here, background processes and memory management. Okay. Sorry guys, other guys, because I am giving a basic difference. This is also possible using a .NET, ASP.NET, but this is purely okay. I can say native of SSRS Windows services. Even the native code also supports to .NET only, but we can also build. I agree totally with these reports using a .NET also, but typically it takes a huge time than using SSRS. For tabular reports, I would recommend you .NET for tabular, those kind of small reports. There is no difference at all. I mean, even much better than SSRS for small report. But if you deal with huge data, okay, I think generally connection timeout errors and memory leak issues you may observe in ASP.NET. Yes or no?
Yeah, definitely possible. Yeah.
That's right. So basic wise, I totally agree with you. ASP.NET is better. But when you deal with huge data or chunks of the data, because the net profit question is a simple question, but to answer this question, you need to consolidate every piece of information across the global. That means you are dealing with a huge data. Okay, So using that such huge data and writing a ASP.NET code, definitely you may get these memory issues as well as connection issues, or you know the threads, am I right? Process threads. Okay, so that's why Microsoft given a separate Windows component. This SSRS is a Windows Services component. Okay, to handle this kind of background processing issues as well as memory management. So they created two databases, reporting data sources. I will show to you later those two databases because of these kind of issues only. You understood, Krishna?
Yeah. Thanks, Yudhishthir. Yeah, that helped.
Okay. Sorry guys, I am using more technical with Krishna because of he is a .NET background. Yeah, any other questions please? So that's why my session should be interactive because somebody is an expert on some technology but the other no. But he cannot understand my conversations, am I right? So that's why you need to be interact, please. I am again telling you. Any other questions so far? Any other questions please?
No, Jagdish.
Liang. Because also you know the MicroStrategy
Yeah.
Definitely MicroStrategy features is more compared to reporting services.
Yeah, sure. So I think it's good. I don't have any question.
Sorry?
I don't have any question.
Yeah, go ahead please if you have. Shall I move to Lee? Any questions?
No, right now.
So I believe everybody knows that at very high level where integration services help and where reporting services helps. At high level. Okay? Now, there is one more component which is, very interesting as well as important also. Analysis services. Have you heard this earlier?
No.
Anybody? Krishna, have you heard this? Liang, Monica, have you heard this service?
Yeah, I've heard a bit about it. It's for Microsoft SQL has SSAS, SSIS, SSAS, three components.
Okay. Now, yeah, let me come to one picture. See, so your data stored, assume it in this table format. Am I right? Now, how do you get the data from table? How do you get the data from table? Krishna?
Yeah, in the case of .NET, like we have some APIs, so ADO.NET. So using the ADO.NET, we connect to the database and get the data.
Exactly. So the basic is you need to use your SQL statement, select query. Am I right?
Right.
Lee, you know about the select statement, select star from table name. You know the SQL statements?
Yeah.
Lee? I am asking Lee. So you know the select statements. Have you heard that select?
Yes, I do. In SAS,
Right?
we use that.
Exactly. So to get the data from table, you need to be whichever the technology, ADO, middleware technologies, or adapters. Okay, you need to fire a select query to get the data. Am I right? Now, let's say to answer the net profit. Again, I am coming to Citibank question. How many tables we need to join? Imagine, please. How many tables we need to join to answer the net profit question? Think about global Citibank. How many tables we need to join?
Many.
Many. Alright? So many tables. Now, if you store a single table, let's say, as we discussed, consolidate. Let's say, using SSIS integration services, we stored one table, all the data. Let's assume it. This is a big table, we stored. Okay? We consolidated all the data into a single table. Am I right? Now we can use only one table to answer net profit question. Yes or no? We consolidated. Using the integration services, we consolidated and make it as a big table, one single table, into a central database. So we can answer using one select query, select star from net profit, so that we can answer it using a single table. Now, this is fine. Now, if you store the data into a table format, okay, up to this, are you clear? So using integration services, we make it as a one big table and we can answer it. Okay? Now, the CEO, these are, I can say, stupid guys. Their question is, they immediately ask, once we answered like, $25,000 profit we gave globally, then the CEO again asks, how much percentage increased from last week? What is the percentage of increase, the profit, last week? They immediately ask the second question. Am I right? Do you agree with me or not? Prashant? Krishna or Lee? See, we answered the net profit. Yes or no? We answered net profit. CEO asked what is my net profit. Okay, we consolidated, we apply the select query and answer. We can say that $25,000 is a net profit. $25,000 is a net profit. Then the CEO again asks, what is the percentage of increase from last week? Again, we need to give one more query. Alright? So we can say that 4% increase. Yes or no? Again, we need to write a different query. This is one different select query and this is one different select query. Yes or no?
What do you mean by this? Actually, I don't get it. Could you repeat? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm coming to it. Yeah. Thankfully.
So you mean the first query is about $25,000, the second query, the last with 4%. How can you get the 4%?
Yeah. No, I'm giving some numbers, some examples. CEO first question is, what is my net profit? Am I right? So assume it, using your integration services, you consolidated and put the data into this table. This is one table, one big table. Okay? By using a select query, by using a one select query, you can answer like 25,000, one select query. Like, select sum of, I can give one basic.
Yes, I know this.
Amount from set a table. Okay? Now, that same CEO asked what is the percentage? What is the percentage of increase last week?
So I assume you have to write another query to get the data from last week.
Am I right? You need to write one more select query. Yes or no? Am I right?
Yes, you do. Yes.
Same table. Now he again asked what is my profit last quarter. Do we need to require another query or not?
I think you have to have another query.
All right. And what about last year?
You have.
What about last 2 years? How we are performing? Am I right?
Yes.
So for every small questions, we need to build complex select query and execute against the table. Yes or no?
I think yes.
So other than Lee, so are you guys following? This is very typical, these queries and the select queries.
Yes.
So moving to the SSAS. Okay. So for each question of CEO or analysis people, we need to build one select query. It may be a complex or it may be a simple. All right. Now, to avoid this, Microsoft introduced a new concept called analysis services. That means cube. Okay, Microsoft suggested us store the data instead of instead of a table, store the data in cube, the cube format. So I repeat here, store the data. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Microsoft suggested us store the data instead of a table into the cube to answer these kind of questions. That means it is very simple to answer these kind of questions. If you store the data other than table, that means cube format. If you store the data in cube format, you can answer these kind of questions very quickly. Need not to build select query every time. Okay. So I repeat, instead of building select query every time, even MicroStrategy also. Liang, have you heard that? Cube? Liang? Hello?
Okay, maybe.
Liang. So have you heard this terminology cube?
Sorry, I think I got disconnected. I was here maybe for 1-2 minutes.
Yeah. So my question is, before the question, instead of storing the data in a table, store the data in queue format so that you can answer these kind of questions without building select query.
I mean, instead of storing data in the table, you start in a query?
Cube.
A cube. Oh, yeah. I think cube is kind of like the cache. Is that what the cube in mind?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
I mean, cube, it looks like the specific kind of cache. I mean, so does that Do you mean for the cube or?
No. It's a kind of one format. Like table.
Like two dimension table, like something like that.
Exactly. The dimensions, measures, KPIs, perspectives, actions, and your facts, dimensions and facts comes to here only.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I think you heard this in the MicroStrategy.
Yeah.
Okay, so MicroStrategy as well as other vendors also, Cognos also, Microsoft also suggested store the data instead of a table into cube to answer this kind of a question. Okay, I will tell you how we can answer quickly the kind of questions. If you see this cube, okay, in the surface, these lines we call it as a dimension. I will tell you the terminology later. Surface, if you assume this surface as a amount data, assume it. This one surface has amount. Okay, and this line has a different countries. Okay, so I am trying to help you guys theoretically. How many surfaces right now you can able to observe? How many surfaces, please? Six. So you can see 6 reports, 6 views you can see, same data, 6 views you can see. Now you can cut the cube vertically. Now tell me how many faces, how many surfaces you can see. Simply slice it. How many faces you can see? Yeah, Lee, are you understand?
Pardon me, sorry.
If you cut this cube, how many surfaces you can see?
How many surfaces I can see right now? I could see right now in front of me, from my eye, I could see 3 surfaces, but because it is 6 surfaces thing, so there's another 3 surfaces which I cannot see, but if you cut it, another 2 surfaces will be added, but it's going to be 2 objects. So in that way, I could say 12 surfaces.
Alright. So if you slicing vertically, you can see 12 surfaces. Let's say horizontally, if you slice it again, totally how many surfaces you can see?
Horizontally, I think that it would be the same. Because yes.
Same. Now, if you apply one slice vertically, one slice horizontally, how many faces?
So it's going to be 4 objects. So it's going to be 24 faces. 24 surfaces.
24 surfaces. Am I right? Now, again, if you apply 2 slices vertically, 2 slices horizontally.
Okay, that way it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 18. It's 18 objects. So it's going to be 18 times 6. It's 104. No, 114 bases.
Okay. So same if you store the data in a cube, okay, by applying slicing and dicing. The terminology I am using, slicing is a cut, dicing is just rotate the cube. As you said, right now you can see 3. If you dice it, you can see the other 3 surfaces. Am I right? So the operations here, if you slicing and dicing your central data, you can see multiple views. That means multiple reports. That means you can answer multiple questions by simply applying your slicing and dicing.
Okay.
That's what I mean to say. When you store the data in cube format, you can benefit using slicing, dicing operations. Let's say same data, if you store in table, here is also you can get the answer, but every time you need to build altogether a new select query to store the data into a table. Okay. But here you can simply apply slicing and dicing, whatever the query it is, if you store the data in queue format. Okay. Now my question, guys, do you understand the difference between a table data storage as well as cube data storage?
Yes, so far I understand it. So good.
At least you get the difference, am I right?
Yes, that's right. The concept, so far so good.
Concept-wise. I don't jump into technically, so it may definitely mess up everything. So that's just I give the concept. Now, so any questions so far? I mean, do you guys understood the basic difference? Storage?
Yes.
Monica, Prashant, Vaibha.
Yeah, Jagdish.
You understand it?
Yes, Jagdish.
Yes.
Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jagdish, can you just give an overview of it once again?
I mean the cube only or total?
Yeah, just the cube.
Yeah. See, let's say if you store the data in a table, for every query, I mean what is my net profit, what is the percentage of increase from last week, every time you need to do altogether a new select query, am I right? Monica?
Yes, Jagdish, yes.
Okay. Same queries, if you store the data in cube format, you need not to build a select query every time. You have to simply slicing it or dicing it.
Okay.
You have simply cut the cube or you have to simply rotate the cube. You can answer these kind of questions. What is my net profit? What is the percentage? So, which one is quickly give the multiple? I mean, either table. Let's rephrase my answer. My question. Which one, either a table storage or a cube? Which one is the best to answer dynamic questions? Which one is the best? Cube. What about Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get the other pulse. What about Krishna? Which one is better? Whether a table or a cube? To answer, dynamic questions. I use the dynamic keyword.
Cube.
Dynamic questions. Cube. What about Lee? Which one is the better? Table or a cube? Vaiba?
Cube.
Cube. Lee? Okay, so the major opinion is cube because you know the difference between a table and cube theoretically, am I right? Now my next question is, how do we create a table? Yes, please guys, give me the quick answer. How do you create a table?
Using a statement syntax.
Okay, statement syntax. Yes, please. Other opinions?
And geometrically, you could aggregate all those tables together, vertically, and by the rules of integration, it will be a table. I mean, it will be a queue.
Okay, yeah, understood. Now the question is, next question is, how do we create a table?
To create a table, we
Yeah.
have to use a statement. I think we have to
Exactly.
use statement.
Yeah, statements. Create statements. Create table, table name, your column name, or column type. That's way you can use. Okay. Let's say create function. How do you create the function? SQL functions. Have you heard that? How do you create the views?
I don't know how to create views. I
Yeah.
don't know how to create functions.
Yeah, understood. So to create, the advanced objects like views, procedures, functions, triggers, cursors, linked servers, jobs, you need to be SQL Server developer. You need to be expert on SQL Server developer. Am I right? A SQL Server expert can create, link objects, permissions, databases, files, views, object these can be created. The same way, you need to be an expert in cube development. Then only you can create the cube. Okay. So coming to statement and synchronous statement. So as you know that when you create a table, you need to use create table name. Here the flexibility is using using XML. You can create the cube. Using XML syntax, you can create the cube. That is the one change, dramatical change. Using your XML. XML is the open standard, am I right? Using XML, you can create the cube. Okay? Using a cube, those things, how to create this cube, what are the terminologies we have to use, okay, those things we need to learn using SSAS. This is my conclusion, where the exactly SSAS comes into the picture.
So you mean we have to use SSRS to create tables?
Sorry, SSAS. SSAS.
Okay, SSAS Apple to create tables.
On cube, not table.
Okay, create cube. Okay.
Cube. Analysis. ANALY, analysis services.
Okay.
Okay, using SQL Server analysis, you can create the cube. Then why we need to create the cube?
Because it's easier for future use. I mean, we could slice the cubes to use the perfect. So it's easier for multiple select statements.
Exactly. It depends on the environment, whether your CEO asks dynamic questions or not. It depends. Am I right? With the CEO or your vice president or your manager, depends upon the manager question, whether it is a questionnaire or depends on that we can build the cube. He can dynamically ask a question, then we need to build the cube. Otherwise, we can use the table only. Am I right? So the cube depends on the requirement of their environment. Citibank guys wants a cube because their CEOs keep on asking questions. Then we need to build the cube. Otherwise, you can use the table as well as reporting services. It depends. Okay? Any questions so far? Do you think it's a lengthy demo?
No.
I am planning to, stop here. I need to spend, another 5 minutes to you guys.
I have a
Any
small
questions?
question.
Yeah.
You said we create a cube using an XML syntax, right? And
Yes.
you mentioned that XML is an open standard. So what does that open standard mean?
Open standard means,
is it like used what do you call frequently used thing, or what is that?
No. In simply I can say this XMLA works in different operating systems.
Okay.
Simple word. We know the Windows, am I right?
Yes.
Is one kind of operating system. What about the iPhone operating system? It's not a Windows, am I right? It's a different operating system.
Different, yeah.
And Linux, Unix, those are the different operating systems. Okay, if you give an XMLA statement, okay, even a Linux environment also you can execute it. Even in your iPhone also you can execute it.
So in that case we call it open standard, isn't it?
Simply I can say there are so many factors, but I don't want to mess up everything. That means it is flexible irrespective of operating system.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions, please?
No.
Okay. Now, I am concluding a summary. Now we have a 3 component. We are supposed to expertise on three components. Okay. Can any one of you guys tell me where the integration services, where the analysis services, where the reporting services sits? Can you tell me, please? Lee, can you tell me? High level usage.
Sorry, pardon me?
High level usage of integration services, reporting services, and analysis services.
Well, I don't know how to answer this question. Sorry.
Yeah, you can answer it. No, don't be shy. No, you can answer. Even you can tell a plain English, not technology or technical words, because it's a pure demo. You can give it a small example. That's it. Here. That's it. I need to know where exactly these 3 fits.
Okay, so your question is what is the high level? What? Sorry. Could you repeat? Sorry.
Where is the high level usage of integration services, reporting services, analysis services?
Okay, so in my opinion, the high level integrating services is a method that the authorized users would be able to access data and generate the required analysis and report from the data, and in any locations where there is internet access or where there is internal network access. So that's my opinion about the high-level integrating services. And for the reporting services, I think that is based on the integrating services. Based on the data analysis that's going to be realized, and there's a potential for those processes to be automated. That's my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. How about the truth analysis services?
Sorry, pardon me. Could you repeat?
Analysis services. Where it is going to use?
Analysis. You mean? Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead, please. Where it is going to use analysis services?
Okay. So I think the analysis could be used to generate reports. Not only to generate reports. For example, in the fraud detection, we could use predictive models, and in the insurance reserve, we could use different models, and to fit the say we choose a Bayesian method, we will have to have claim data and claim data, the paid claim data and the unpaid claim data, and so we need those data from the integrated data warehouse, And yes, that is the analysis. I mean to do any prediction, to do any summarizing, to do any whatever needed to achieve the business goal.
Exactly. I think the one I given and the one you understanding is, I am appreciative with that, because also you are, much ahead than whatever I given. So the prediction process, that mining process, the forecasting process, those comes into the queue. Yeah. Okay. So any other guys, what do you understand about the integration, reporting? I mean, where exactly it will be used? Prashant or Vaiba? Your integration services, your reporting services and analytics services. Please, whatever the thoughts you have. Prashant?
Yeah, I mean, integration services basically is used for to extract, transform, and load the data from different systems. And
can you speak loudly, please?
Extract, transform, and load the data from different source systems, different data.
Okay.
Consolidated into at a single location so that it can be used for reporting and analysis purpose by SSRS.
So you mean to say integration services is extract and consolidate, load the data for only reporting purposes or any other purposes also?
Reporting as well as analysis.
Okay, good.
What am I?
Yeah. So you are near. See, integration services, the purpose is to integrate the data, whether the integrated data used for reporting or analysis or just, only closing, book closing. If you are aware about the accounting concept, book closing. Okay. So integrate, I can simply say integrate two sources, more than two sources.
Right.
Okay. And apply the transformation while integrating it. Okay. So one good example I can give, I think everybody can understand. Okay. Think this way. How do you supply a water to a city from pond or a river? How do you supply?
From some central,
From river to house. Water supply, water pipelines. Okay. So you are integrating, you are connecting, water, people to river using pipes. So here is also same concept. I will give that, in a tomorrow class so that you can easily understand, data pipelines. Okay. Now, so any other questions, guys? So I believe very high level where exactly the integration services, where exactly the reporting services, where exactly the analysis services. Irrespective of industry, irrespective of the domain. And again, not only a banking, Citibank, wherever it is, where exactly these integration services, where exactly analysis services, where exactly reporting services. Any questions so far?
No, Jonas.
Yeah. So one request from my side is the guy who already knows this, they feel this is the basic. The guy who doesn't know about this, okay, they feel it is new. So I need to balance this. Okay, that's why so I'm again asking you, if you know about this concept, please ask your technical questions in depth so that I can answer it. Like Krishna asked, grid component as well as ADO adapters. How do you connect? Which is altogether in a pure technical guy, the guy who Liang or Lee cannot understand. So I need to balance it both the people. So sometimes I can give that says basic. So I am trying to help you guys. Both guys can understand, even though somebody feels a bore and somebody feels. But when you keep on going to a further sessions, so everybody feels the same.
Thank you.
So
I
that is my
appreciate that.
sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why so I need to know the exact background of you guys. So that helps me a lot to balance the both people. Because some guys are pure techie guys, sometimes purely analysis guys, sometimes purely business guys, business analyst. As you guys know, some of the people are business. Because for the first 4.5 years, so I am placing not the same stream people. So I am different countries and different peoples, different backgrounds. That's why. So if you guys are more interactive, so that I can understand what is your understanding level, and I will try to help you guys to apply this integration as well as reporting as well as analysis to their respective fields. That's why. So I did not take my own example. If you come with your own example, let's say Monica. So sir, can you take property and casualty insurance? I think Prashant has the property and casualty background, am I right? Those claims, policies, and quotes, average rates, actuarial department, salvage department, subrogations department. Those comes to your property and casualty. You can ask me, can you give me how do we apply integration services in this department? Okay, how do we recover the claim amount? So where it is helpful, how do I report those information using a reporting services? You have to be more interactive, then only so that you can understand very quickly how to apply these MSBI services to my property and casualty industry, insurance industry, especially auto insurance. Okay. Any other questions, guys, before going to stop this session? Hello? Any other questions? Krishna? Liang?
Oh, no question.
Yeah, Liang, you can ask me because I aware about this, Microsoft Business Intelligence. Sorry, MicroStrategy reportings. Map diagrams.
Yeah.
Those map diagrams and analysis interface. Okay, you can ask the feel free. Because as I said, I am working almost 5 years with CVK Group. I am hearing so many different background people, different domains, and freshers, I can say, the guys who went for getting their master degree in US or some other institutes, Australia. Okay, and they don't know about, they have the engineering background, they don't know about the softwares. So